Namaste. So come to a comfortable cross-legged position at the front of your bolster or sitting cushion if you're using one. Rise up through your spine, rise up into the crown of your head, and as you exhale, yield the weight of the lower body into the support of the ground, the pull of gravity. Continue feeling this interplay of dynamics between the rising up of the in-breath, the rising up of the spine and the crown, the yielding down through the out-breath, the yielding down of the weight of the lower body through gravity. You can place one hand just around our navel, the other hand right on the center of the upper chest, and continue to feel breath rising, starting from the bottom and coming up as we inhale, opening the chest. As we exhale, maintaining our length as we feel the chest deflate, the belly deflates and hugs a little more tightly around the core, releasing the belly for the expansion of the in-breath. Continue to expand the breath upwards into the ribs. Let the shoulders drop along with the exhalation. Let the jaw release. Feel the weight down through the sitting bones on the exhalations. Let's continue with a few more rounds like this. Rising up through the side ribs as we breathe in, maintaining length, yielding down through the pelvis as we exhale. Coming into a drishti, a soft gazing point, the eyes softly relaxed and yet focused. So the eyes are level will give an indication of the correct placement of the head, not looking up, nor looking down, but directly straight ahead. Have a sense that the sense organs, the ears, the eyes, are alert and attentive. In fact, the whole body, the whole state of ourself is in a state of relaxed attention, relaxed alertness. And let's place our hands now on the lower side ribs, and we'll feel for the widening expansion of the diaphragm now as we inhale, and the drawing inward of the lower ribs as we exhale, following the exhale through to completion, relaxing the ribs so that there's a widening expansion as we inhale. Following the flow of the exhalation all the way out. Take another couple of rounds like that. And now let the hands relax down into your lap, but remain aware of the breath, more expansive as you inhale. And a yielding downward of the shoulders, the jaw, and the weight of the low body as you exhale. And now breathe prana in as we inhale. And feeling the quality of apana, the downward moving flow of energy as we exhale. Now let's fold our hands into Ajna Mudra, right in front of our hearts, closing our eyes, pressing gently inward with the palms of our hands to feel our beating heart. relaxed yet alert state of being. And preparing to come now into our opening prayer, traditional yogic mantra. If you like, you can float your eyes open, and I will begin. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let's change the fold of our hands over our heart. May we be protected while we're together. May we work together with great vigor. May there be no enmity amongst us. May peace reign on all domains. Beautiful. Let's move now into Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. Folding the soles of the feet together, interlacing the fingers around the toes, and then just gently flapping like wings our thighs. Continue to rise up through the spine, through the crown, feeling any subtle differences between the two sides of the low body. Just noticing how your body's showing up in this moment. Stay with it for a few more moments here. Pulling the shoulder blades down and close to the spine so the chest remains open. Very good. And now we'll fold the knees together and prepare to come to standing. So coming up onto our feet, and for a moment just feeling the feet. Let's do some joint warm-ups for the ankle. So rising up one heel so there's more weight into the ball of that foot and rotating around the ball of the foot. And other direction. And now we'll flip over onto the top of the foot and back and forth a few times to loosen up the feet. So when we're standing, everything starts from the feet. And now take your weight onto that side, lift up the opposite heel, and we'll rotate around the ball of the foot to loosen up the ankle and all the many joints of the toes. Other direction. And now flipping over the top of the foot and back down, back and forth. Good. And now stand in both feet, lifting up the toes but grounding the balls of the feet. Feel the arches of our feet engage and release the toes down. And again, lift the toes up, keeping the balls of the feet grounded. Release the toes down, and one more time. Great. Now we'll move into standing twists. So broadening the stance of the feet a little bit, turn the whole body to one side, and arms wrap. Front one around the chest, the back one around the back. Coming now into your own flow, and I'll rotate so that the camera can see what's happening from all angles of the body. See how the arms wrap around the back. If you can, let the neck rotate with you so that you're looking over your back shoulder with each rotation. If not, you might want to fix your gaze a little more. Let's go one more round through this rotation. This is called empty coat sleeves arms. So the arms are heavy and long and loose. And then like a pendulum, just gradually coming back to center down in the hara. And then we'll feel the weight balance once again in center. We'll do some pelvic circles now. So bending the knees a little bit. Let's bring the pelvis forward, scoop to the side, scoop our pelvis out behind us to the other side and gently forward, and continue on now, rounding out some circles with our pelvic bowl. Relax the upper body. Let it just go with the movement however it naturally does. Feeling, breathing. And preparing to pause. Other direction, so bend the knees a little bit. Pelvis forward, scoop to the side, out behind to the other side, and scoop forward and continue. Continuing to be aware of breath and sensation. Again, allowing the upper body to move naturally as it does. Nice. Returning to mountain pose. Let's do a warm-up for the side body. So in this one, we'll be bending the knees as we exhale, yielding the weight of the upper body to one side. Inhale back to center. Exhale through an open mouth. Ha. Inhale through center. Find your own rhythm. Couple more rounds. Good. And now some standing cat-cow or spinal flexes. I'll turn to the side. So as we inhale, we'll yield the sitting bones behind us, roll the shoulders back, and lift open the chest. Breath in, the face will rise slightly. Exhale, tail curls between our legs, shoulders round, spine rounds forward. Inhale, exhale. Last one. Good. And now let's just lift up the hands and rotate the palms forward and back. Very nice. And relax the arms down to the sides. So time for the sun salutation. So I'll just move my bolster back a little bit and step to the front of my mat where I've placed my yoga blocks. So coming into Tadasana, or mountain pose, and placing the feet a comfortable hip distance apart for yourself. Do a visual check so that the insides of the feet line up like you're on railroad tracks. The big toes would be on the same line. And then you might want to just roll towards the inner heels, towards the outer heels a few times back and forth, feeling what changes in the entire lower body when you do that. Find the center heels, lift up the toes, but ground the balls of the feet, activate the arches, let the tail drop long and heavy, let the chest and crown rise, chest open, and mountain pose, breathing mountain pose. So we'll come now into a few rounds of sun breath. So externally rotating the arms so that they open, the palms open. Inhale. Reach out through the fingertips as you exhale down. Time it to the duration of your own breath, breathing in, breathing out. A couple more. Good. And this time we'll inhale up and swan dive down. So as we exhale, the palms turn down at shoulder height, bend the knees a little bit, draw the sit bones out behind you, come through jackknife pose, down into Uttanasana, or standing forward fold. Breathing here for a breath or two. Then you can find your yoga blocks if you're using them, otherwise hands on floor, knees bend. Inhale, the right foot will step far back and place the ball of the foot. So Virabhadrasana 1. Inhale, push up, core stands evenly between both legs, sun breath in. And just exhale and let the low body drop downward, let both thighs lengthen in opposing directions. Feel the opening of your warrior's spirit. Stay in your breath. And sun breath out when you're ready, hands on blocks. Let's move the blocks to the sides now because hands need to come to the earth on either side of the foot. Get ready for Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So push off. Draw back with the left foot and leg, and exhale, press into the pose. Couple of breaths here. Inhale into plank pose, firm up the pose as you exhale. Couple of breaths here. Next comes Chaturanga Dandasana, modification, knees yield down to the ground, elbows bend straight back, slowly lowering down. Roll the shoulders back, chest draws forward and up for Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Breathe. Don't lift the chin, eyes straight ahead. Coming now into upward facing dog. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, press up to long arms, pelvis rises up the floor. Again, another Adho Mukha Svanasana, so push off through the palms, curl the toes under, lift the knees, exhale, press back to downward dog. Coming into a temporary plank pose, eyes come between the hands, right foot steps forward, hands on blocks. Take a moment to ground. Inhale, push away from the ground with the feet, core rising up, steady and stabilize your pose. The steady is the sthira. Find a sense of peacefulness within it, the sukha. Inhale, sun breath in. Exhale, remain strong and steady, feeling the heart lift and open. Keep breathing. Exhale, hands swan dive down onto the blocks if you're using them. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, reverse swan dive up all the way to Tadasana with sun breath. Let's exhale, pull our palms together down into our heart space. Return to Tadasana. Feel your breath, feel your heartbeat. This time exhale down into Utkatasana. Stay there and inhale a sun breath in. Exhale, draw back through the seat and upward through the fingertips. Keep the chest open. Arms long and strong. If you can, pick up the toes, but ground the balls of the feet. Beautiful. Exhale, swan dive down into Uttanasana. This time let's place the palms under our feet. Yield the head down. Release the palms onto the blocks or the floor, whatever you're using. Inhale, left foot back. And again, find steadiness. And then inhale, push up to center. Stabilize your pose. Find that sense of relaxed alertness. Inhale, sun breath. Exhale, ground down through the low body, keeping a sense of upliftment through the heart and even a little bit through the eyes. Warrior's heart. Exhale. Hands to ground now. Active hands. Right foot comes back. Exhale, downward dog. Stay in your breath. Next in-breath, coming into plank pose. Press back through the heels, tuck the belly up and in. Breathing in, breathing out. Nice strong pose, strong core. Lowering the knees down. This time let's lower the upper body all the way down into the ground, except the upper chest for Navasana pose. So now reaching back through the legs and toes as you lift them up. Reach back through the arms and fingers and breathe. Palms place right in under the shoulders, tuck the elbows back, roll the shoulders back, inhale back up to upward dog. Press back, curl the toes under, lift knees, exhale, downward dog. Come through modified plank, look at the space between your hands. Inhale, step the left foot forward. Hands on blocks if you're using them. Inhale, push away from the ground. Center the upper body over the lower. Open the heart, inhale a sun breath. Exhale and ground the pose. Virabhadrasana 1. Just feeling the opening and the uplifting of the strength of your heart. Exhale, reverse swan dive. Palms to blocks or hand. Inhale, spring the right foot forward. Exhale, yield down to Uttanasana. This time let's just cup the hands behind the ankles, wrapping the lower arms around the lower legs. Bend the knees. Rise up through the back body halfway. for another version of Utkatasana or chair pose. Inhale, arms up, reaching up strongly through the arms and fingertips, staying in a low squat with the legs. When you're ready, inhale, push away from the ground, rise all the way up, a little bit of a standing back bend, and exhale, reverse swan dive. Return the palms to the heart. Press in. Feel the strong beating of your own heart. Come into a drishti, whether your eyes are open or closed, and just feel the prana, the life force, being stirred by the asanas. When you're ready, open your eyes, release your palms. We'll move into standing poses next. So I'm going to step back or into the center of my mat, and from Tadasana, preparing for Vrikshasana or the tree pose. So I'll shift the weight to my left leg, center and balance the body until I can rise the right foot up, externally rotate the leg, lift it to either the calf or the inner thigh. Finding balance, let's come into Prana Mudra here. Maintaining a drishti. And taking a different mudra, fingertips together, palms open. From there we'll rise up into what I've learned to call steeple pose. Whoops, a little bit of a momentary imbalance. Let's start that again. And that's how it is with balancing poses. So the trick is when we move our arms to try to come back to our low body. Okay, so today not so great on that side. That's okay. I'm going to exhale and return to Tadasana. Again, find my calm center, the sukha and the sthira of asana practice. Shifting the weight onto the right side now, preparing for Vrikshasana on this side. Maintaining my drishti and my relaxed focus. So again, I'll see what happens when I attempt to move my arm into different positions and yet maintain the stabilization of my low body. I can feel a little shaky on this side today as well. So I will not take as much upper arm movement as I might at other times. And return to Tadasana, and exhale, let the pose go. Next we'll come into Prasarita Padottanasana, standing, wide angle, forward bend. So stepping so the ankles are approximately as wide as your wrists when you hold your arms out to the sides. Toes turned a little bit inward, so a slight internal rotation in both legs. As we exhale, I'm going to bend the knees, draw the sitting bones out behind, draw the shoulder blades in against the back body, tuck the chin slightly in, and release down through the upper body. Traditionally, the palms placed right in under the shoulders, elbows fold directly back. And now breathe. Come up, push away from the ground with the hands, bend the knees gently. Inhale, rise up through the back body. Virabhadrasana 2. We'll start with the left side, rotating 90 degrees, and orient the pelvis. Spread the inner thighs in opposite directions, and as I exhale and lower the pelvis center, feel the lengthening of both legs in opposing directions. reaching into the back edge of the back foot, checking my alignment. My knee is right centered over the center of my foot between the second and third toe. Inhale, arms spread up like wings. Exhale, settle down into the pose. Breathing in, feel the prana rising up. Exhale, feel the apana yielding downwards. Preparing to change directions, release the arms, rotate the left leg back in, rotate the right leg back out, center the pelvis, exhale into the lunge, checking the alignment, center of the knee over the center of the foot, pressing into the back edge of the back foot so there's no collapsing of the arches. Core stays centered. Inhale, rise just to shoulder height. This time let's take the gaze to the tip of the third forward finger. Exhale down into the sthira of the pose. Feel the breath like wings in your arms. Like the wind beneath the wings. And exhale, release the palms down. Turn the right leg back in, bend the knees, step in to Tadasana. Moving now into sitting. So starting in Dandasana, pulling the flesh behind the buttocks until I can feel the two ischial protuberosities, not rolling behind them, but rolling right up on top. So using the strength of the back and the core again to rise up through the spine and through the crown, and reaching out strongly through the legs. So working evenly and actively in both the right and left side of the body. Come back to the awareness of the inhale rising. The exhale can pull the navel closer in towards the spine. Let's inhale up through the fingertips. Now maintain the strength of the pose as we take a couple of breaths here. Perhaps broaden the chest so it stays open. Drishti, inner smile is nice, just smiling inwardly to ourselves. Feeling our strength, our steadiness, and that sweet space of being in our asana practice. And exhale, lower the arms down, preparing for Janu Shirshasana. Tucking one foot up inside the opposite thigh. Come back into the energy of Dandasana. Inhale the arms up. As you exhale, don't move the arms forward, just move the chest forward. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, move the chest forward. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, move the chest forward. Let's sweep the arms behind us. Tuck the chin slightly in so that we feel the work is coming through the core of the body and not through the pulling forward of the arms and hands. Then when you're secure in that, then draw the hands and arms around to clasp around the toes of your left foot. You can bend the elbows and now use a little bit of leverage from the arms and hands to draw the core down over the left leg. Find your edge and breathe. Inhale, rise up through the core and through the arms. Exhale, return the arms down and return to Dandasana pose. Again, balanced activity on both sides of the body. Then tuck the opposite foot up into the inner thigh of the opposing leg. Inhale, rise up through the arms and fingers, and exhale, keep the chest open as you lower down. Inhale, lengthen the core. Exhale, lower. One more. And now as the core lowers, sweep the arms back. Tuck the chin slightly in. Work the position from the core of the body. And then when that is secure, draw the arms around to clasp the big toes, the toes of the right foot And exhale, you can bend the elbows and use a little bit of leveraging to pull down a little deeper into the asana. Breathing here. Find that sweet space inside, the sukha of the pose. Nice. And when you're ready, inhale, core, arms, hands rise up, exhale. Good. Now let's come into Sukhasana. Folding one foreleg over the other foreleg. Inhale, rise up through the core. Exhale into forward bend. Just breathing here, allowing the pose to do what it does, to open the hips. And then as we inhale, rise up. Now let's take that top leg, rotate it to the side, out behind us, coming onto the top of the back leg, palms in under the shoulders. Inhale, push away from the ground for Kapotasana, pigeon pose. And again, just a sense of giving the asana some time to do the work that they offer us. And now preparing to return. So sitting a little bit more deeply into the front hip, bend the back leg. As we pull it around, tuck it under and fold the opposite leg on top of that one. So right now it's my left leg, lower leg on top of my right lower leg. Sitting cross-legged forward bend or Sukhasana with forward bend. Inhale, rise up through the core. Exhale and lengthen and yield downwards. Just breathing, maintaining that sense of relaxed alertness, inner peace. Shanti. Next, in-breath, rise the core up, sit a little bit more deeply into the lower hip. As you rotate the top leg around, lengthen back onto the top of that back leg, palms in under the shoulders. Inhale, press away from the ground for Kapotasana on this side. This, of course, is a modified version, and the version that is comfortable in my body. So as I work the pose, I'm drawing the shoulder blades back towards the spine, yet keeping the shoulders lowered, collarbones, sternum open, maintaining my drishti, maintaining my breath awareness, and feeling what the pose is doing. And preparing to release, sitting a little more deeply into the front hip, drawing the back leg forward, and now from here we'll prepare to come down into prone or belly down position. So easing down, let's start in Sphinx pose. So tuck the elbows right in under your shoulders and yet press away from the ground. Draw the shoulders back and down. Keep the chin level, not lifted. And breathe here. Little baby back bend. So from here we'll do a modified version of Dhanurasana, Ardha Dhanurasana here. So I'm going to fold my left forearm in, bend my right knee. Reach back with the right hand, grab the ankle, and pull the right heel towards the right buttock. Come back to balance in center. Breathe and feel. And release. Return to Sphinx pose. And preparing for Ardha Dhanurasana on the other side. Right forearm folds in, left knee bends. Reach back with the left hand, grab the left ankle, and pull the heel bone towards the left buttock. balance the weight in center, breathe and feel. And release. Next we'll take Ardha Shalabhasana. So lengthening down through the core, and then the arms reach back, palms turn down at the sides, rolling one hip up, tucking the arm in under that side of the low body, then the other side, chin to the floor. So with the left leg first, I'm going to reach back long through the left toes and then lift the leg up, but not the hip. Keep working as I breathe and feel. And exhale, keep the leg long as it lowers down. Integrating breath. Inhale, reach back long through the right leg and lift it up. Keeping the front hip grounded as the leg lifts and lengthens, breathing and feeling. And exhale, lower down. Release the arms to the sides, turn your head to one side and take a breath or two. Inhale, lift and turn the face towards center. Exhale as it rotates the other side and down for a breath or two. And return now to the chin, coming up just through the upper body, preparing for Dhanurasana. So we can return to Sphinx pose for a moment. Let's bend one knee. I'm bending the right knee, reach back and clasp, lower down a little bit, bend the left knee, reach back and clasp, and then kick the feet back into the hands, just coming up to where I can, keeping the chin tucked, legs very active, arms very active, breathing into my Dhanurasana. And exhale, gently lower down, palms to the sides, coming through Bhujangasana. Inhale up into upward dog, exhale, press back with the palms, reach the sitting bones all the way back to the heel bones for child's pose. Exhale, elbows down, forehead down. Breathing and relaxing here. And inhale, head up, coming through all fours and moving to the supine position. So I'll come to the front of my mat, and just actually before going down, preparing for the sitting balancing pose. So rising up through the lower legs. The fingers can come in between the big toes, thumbs are up around the outside, and reach out strongly through the legs. Draw the shoulder blades back and down. Good. And then let's lower the feet. Exhale and gently lower down to the ground with control. Feet tuck up in under the knees, hip distance apart, getting ready for Setu Bandhasana or bridge pose. Inhale, press into the feet, rise the pelvis up, and reach out strongly through both thighs. One arm comes under the body, the other arm comes under the body, fingers interlace, press down into the back of the arms and hands, and find your bridge pose. One arm releases, other arm releases. Exhale, slowly roll the spine down. Next exhale, Apanasana, one knee, the other knee comes up, press in. Good, getting ready for Jahara Partos, I forgot the Sanskrit name for this one, revolved belly pose. So I'm going to place my palms down on the ground, exhale and rotate the lower body to the left side. Ease it down, reach out through the arms, let the head roll to the right, find my breath, find my sukha, find my peace. Inhale, lower body returns to center. Exhale, rotates to the right side, eases down, head rolls to the left. Coming back into an inner drishti, that relaxed, calm awareness of body and breath. Good. Inhale back through center and feet down to the ground. So prepare to come into now Ardha Sarvangasana or half shoulder stand pose. So I'll rise up through the knees and the feet and kick up, reaching the hands to support the back of the pelvis as I come up at a mild angle with the legs. The chin stays level so that there's space under the neck. And coming into breath and body awareness here. Maybe just touching the half plow. One leg lowers behind while the other rises. And other side, Ardha Halasana. Good, preparing to release. Bend the knees, let the hands gently release their clasp on the back of the pelvis and reaching back through the legs and bending the knees, letting the feet return to the ground, spreading the arms wide. And now let's just take a very gentle, relaxing pose towards the end of the asana practice. Reclined head to knee pose. Sorry, not reclined head to knee pose. Reclined big toe pose. Supta Pada Gustasana. So just gently reaching out through both legs. Keeping the spine long, keeping the core, the face relaxed, and release that side. Other side, big toe hold, lengthening both legs. Coming into a gentle Ujjayi breath now. And starting to turn more inward. Release the pose. Beautiful. So next we'll come down for Shavasana, corpse pose. So I'm settling onto the back of my pelvis, lengthening my side ribs and spine upwards, tucking my clothes in, of course, spreading the shoulder blades wide on the back, turning the palms up, arms rotated open, let the legs fall open, exhale and let the full weight of the body yield down to the support of the ground and into gravity. I'm resting on the top of my knuckles, on the outsides of my heels. So we could remain in a few rounds of pranayama here. The Ujjayi is a nice one to draw inward. And we'll take a version of Nadi Shodhana, but rather than using our hands to close off our nostrils, we'll just use our minds. So as we inhale, drawing the breath in through the left nostril, centering at the Ajna chakra, and then exhale through the right nostril. Inhale through the right nostril, the prana to the Ajna chakra, and exhale through the left nostril. So I'll remain for a few more rounds of breath silently in that inner meditative practice. Remaining intent and focused for the time being while I do the pranayama. And then taking the last out breath of the pranayama through the left nostril, letting go now of the breathing exercise. Now just resting into Shavasana, a sense of emptying out all the effort, the activity, all the doing. Resting into sheer being, pure presence. Into the experience of Atman. Relaxing the facial muscles, relaxing deeply into the eyes and all around and inside the mouth and tongue. That will continue to spread the softening, the yielding, the letting go, the relaxation all the way down through the shoulders and down through the rest of the body. True emptying out. Just truly letting go, being the doer. Now just begin to think about releasing or moving out of this pose. As I begin to think a bit about it, I'll begin to wiggle my fingers and toes, maybe roll the wrists and ankles, then bend the elbows and bend the knees, placing my palms on my breathing body, continuing to rest deeply into beingness. I like to roll to one side into embryo pose, curl up in a ball, and just continue to rest for a few more moments. And then when I'm ready, use the top hand, inhale, press up, and return full circle to sitting. Get my bolster that I started with, sitting on the front edge of it, coming into comfortable cross-legged position, hands on the lap, and just speaking a few moments about the joy of practicing and learning and being a lifelong student of yoga. Such a very rich and full path towards self-actualization, full aliveness, and a beautiful way to navigate through an entire life. I began the interest and study and practice of yoga when I was 15. I'm now 65 years old and still learning and still practicing. And I hope that I always will be. I love that I can adapt the way that I approach practice to the different stages of my life, and that my practice can accurately accompany me and reflect where each age and stage of my life is. Now in my older years, I love that I can modify my practice to still enjoy it as fully as I'm now capable of. And that the inner practices of yoga continue to nourish me and sustain me. The practices of relaxation and one-pointedness, of meditation and quieting the mind while maintaining the alignment and the extensions through the physicality of our bodies. So in the spirit of gratitude and shanti, peacefulness that a well-crafted asana practice can gift us with, I will close by chanting Om Shanti 3 times, as is part of our beloved tradition. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May peace prevail in all domains of this material physical world, of the inner realm in which we dwell, and throughout time and space. May peace reside and abide within us as a living spirit, nourishing, sustaining our living spirit. From the divine spark in me to the divine spark in you. Namaste.